wonderful speaker. He gave what I would regard as a very short homily, but a very, very powerful one about, he used the words of Silent Night to talk about why silence and calm is so important. Boy, we could use it right now.
Yeah, we certainly could.
But really for reflection, so that even in the middle of a world with 2 wars and recession and economic problems and division, every once in a while it's worth remembering midnight, when things are quiet, when things are calm. And he says that's the reason we have midnight mass. That's why we celebrate Jesus being born at midnight. And he basically used the words of silent night, holy night, all is calm, and saying it's through calm that we're going to realize our way through this, and through God. Right now, unfortunately, there isn't a lot of calm going on. There was a rally earlier today in front of the Fox building, pro Hamas rally, and then at Washington Square, there's an ongoing rally that's gotten to be quite violent. The one at Fox had 7 arrests. I don't know how violent it was, but had 7 arrests. But the one in Washington Square began as a caroling service, which they just blew away.
Yeah.
We can't go out and carol anymore.
It's
this once used to be called a Christian land.
Yeah.
I know people say, and then Judeo-Christian, I think would be fair because it's Western civilization. But
I actually have some video clips from both if you'd like to play.
Yeah, I would. But for them to take away, who the hell do they think they are to take away caroling from Americans?
And this was a pledge, by the way, that these pro-terrorist protesters, pro-Hamas protesters, made to the cops just a few days ago when they were threatening them. I think it was the last time they took over Grand Central. Might have been the day that the Alec Baldwin stuff happened, where they were fighting with Alec Baldwin as well on top of it. And they were telling the cops, you piggies, we're not taking your Christmas. We're taking your Christmas away. We're going to make sure the whole force has to come in. And sure enough, there was a level 3 deployment by the NYPD today because you had all these pro-terrorist protesters. So it shows how little, whatever the cause is, right, that you're out there protesting for, that you're out there practicing your First Amendment rights for, the fact that you would look at the police, look at other citizens like that and say, you know what, we're going to ruin one of your most sacred days to make our point, which, by the way, it's a point of genocide, right? That's the point that they're talking about on top of that. But even taking that out for a second, if you can divide that, looking at how they actually end up treating those people that were called in to try to ruin the time with their families, I think shows you just how heartless, truly heartless a group this is.
Yeah, it really is. And it's completely contrary to us, to our way of life. And and these young people are so poorly educated, possibly poorly brought up. I don't know. But I mean, they are in essence, siding in with the people who are killing their people.
Yeah.
These are the people killing Jewish people. These are the people killing Christians. These are the people creating not wars, but terrorist activities where they go in and kill babies and rape women. What are they on the side of it? Plus, you can see there are some lesbian and gay groups with them. They wouldn't last 2 minutes with Hamas.
I've heard
with the Ayatollah.
Yeah, I've heard the LGBTQ scene in Gaza is not too happening these days because Hamas, or maybe in Lebanon with Hezbollah, or anywhere else in the in the Sharia law led territories. It's not exactly a thriving LGBT.
It's in much of the more I don't know the right word, orthodox, strict, insane, extreme Islamic world, it's a capital offense.
Yeah.
And in some of these places, like like Biden's favorite country, Iran, they'll wipe you out immediately for being homosexual. Now, Iran is a very big country, so their law doesn't reach every little part of Iran. There are places in Iran where people just don't care. But if they catch you, you're dead.
Yeah. You mentioned something before, which you talked about these kids being well educated. And I think if you look at the degrees or the doctorates, maybe some of them might have, some of even the protesters, you may be right. They may be technically considered well educated. But I think there's a big difference between an education today and an education of yesteryear. Even when I certainly had my education and your education, which was really based in the classics and really
Right.
taught Western civilization. We're proud of Western civilization. What, in my opinion, they have taken out is the ability of kids from a young age to learn how to critically think, to look at a problem and to look at all sides of an issue and to actually think through that and try to actually question. It's like it's like scientific reasoning,
Yeah,
if
you're
you
right.
will. And now it's just a matter of teaching through emotion. They're not teaching logical thought and how to deduct and how to actually look through issues. And that's, I think, why the basis of education has changed. It's been all about emotion. It hasn't been about logical,
yeah.
deductive reasoning anymore.
It's
And you add that, you take out the morals, you take out ethics, and that's a dangerous cocktail.
I mean, if you were to sit down with all of these people and say, "Would you give me 1 hour, and I'll show you the film of what they did?" First thing they would do, they would say the film was doctored.
Mhm.
So then you bring in you bring in your own forensic experts and analyze it to prove to them, no matter what you did. I mean, if you took them there to watch it, they would say they didn't see the little baby being killed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think
it's
that's the power
pathetic.
of what can happen when zealotry and ideology becomes excessive, which can either be the Islamic extremist ideology, the communist ideology, or just the pure hate America.
Mhm.
America's wrong. Whatever side America is on, it's Americans are colonialists.
Yeah.
I'm really not colonialists, and Israel isn't a colonialist nation at all. Israel was put there by the League of Nations and by the UN the same way Syria was, the same way Jordan was. All those places are as much colonialist as Israel. In fact, those places threw all the Jews out.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jews that ended up in Israel are the Jews that came from Europe, fleeing the Holocaust, but also the Jews that were thrown out of every Arab country because the Arabs would not tolerate having Jewish people there. So, how are they colonists? Israel is a refuge, not a colony.
Yeah.
So, we will take a short break. And Andrew, you're gonna go off tomorrow. It's on WABCRadio.com. You can get it anywhere with your little radio, your little
Get on the phone.
special phone.
there.
You go in WABCRadio.com. You can get Andrew Giuliani 3 o'clock. You can get me. You also can get the app. You get the app and get them all the time. And me.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Dad.
Christmas.
I love you. And Merry Christmas to you and your families out there. God bless you. And let's hope for some silent nights in the future. We're going to have to battle for the next year, but let's hope that our kids can enjoy some silent nights and
God
in
willing.
a country that that hopefully we can all be proud of. So.
Good. God bless. We'll be right back. Howard's Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us. Heroes who risked their lives to keep our communities and our country safe. Heroes like United States Marine Corps Captain and pilot John Jeremy Sachs. Captain Sachs sustained fatal injuries when his military aircraft crashed during training, killing him and 5 other service members. He's remembered by loved ones as courageous, brilliant, and devoted to his career, family, and friends. John is survived by his wife, Amber, who gave birth to their second daughter 3 months after his death. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family home for Amber and their 2 daughters. The foundation has helped over 1,000 military and first responder families navigate the worst of times by removing the burden of a mortgage payment. Our nation's heroes and their families need your help now more than ever. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. T2T.org. That's T, the number 2T.org. T2T.org. Please donate now.
Live.
This is Rudy Giuliani back with America's Mayor Live. Here we are on Christmas night. Merry Christmas to everyone. Holy Christmas to everyone. We'll go back in a moment to Washington Square Park and see what's going on. But I wanted to show you this. This was on December 10th. It was in the newspapers today, revealed today. This is alleged to be part of a UFO, and the other structure next to it is part of Air Force One. And this thing was right near Air Force One. Now we can get a better look at the thing itself if I take this one here and show you this one here. So now I don't know, any one of you two, Rob, Mike, you want to make a guess of what the heck that is? It looks like a box.
Well,
Or could it be the Chinese back again for pictures?
it could, the boxing could be like a pixel in the camera because they're shooting from a billion miles distance with a zoom lens or something like that.
You sure it isn't Mr. Z coming back for more pictures?
Mayor, I believe in UFOs. Congress that said we are not alone out there, so that could very well be a UFO. But why would they want to go near Joe Biden? He's dumb. They're not going to gain.
Well, maybe they think they think they're trying to figure out if everybody's like that here. They figure they can take us over really easy.
That's right. That's right. He's not the
Can't. Yeah, he's terrible with numbers. He can't count. 1,290,645 trillion. Oh, right. Want to write that out, Joe? So again, it is a shame that. Gosh, I don't remember this. I'm trying to go back to past rallies, protests, like let's say Vietnam War, right? I don't remember them breaking up Christmas caroling. I don't remember they're breaking up Christmas caroling. I don't remember anybody breaking up Christmas caroling. Maybe it's happened. I'm sure it's happened. Everything's happened, but these people now are doing it regularly. So today we had, as I said, 2 rallies. We had one at Fox midday. 7 arrests. And then tonight, a group of people started walking down toward Washington Square Park. And they went there because there was caroling going on in the park. I guess that happens every Christmas night. And they basically roughed up the carolers, got rid of them, drowned them out. The cops came and they started roughing up the cops.
So, Mayor, let's show the peaceful one. Actually, the one at Fox News was pretty peaceful this afternoon.
Even with the 7 arrests?
Yeah, let's show that one first, and then we'll show the one that's going on right now in Washington Square Park.
Okay.
Stand together in support of the Palestinian people. Join us in this protest. We know our Christian brothers and sisters talk about justice, and Christianity talk about love and peace. Let's fight for justice. Let's fight for peace.
Now we're going to show you the one that is going on right now in Washington Square Park. 1 second. This is the one. You're back, man.
And is real Ben Geller a good guy or bad guy?
Ben Geller is a good guy. He's a Trump guy.
I think I know him.
Yeah, I think you know Ben Geller, man.
Yeah.
He's a Trump guy.
So he's out on the street doing this?
No, he got the video from someone else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody? How about on national? Anybody showing this on national television? I bet not.
Probably not.
This will be banned on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, and zoobity doobity, whatever else. It probably not reported in the Times tomorrow. If it is, it'll be that the cops roughed up some poor little protesters who just were disturbed by the noise of the caroling, I guess. Do you understand, my good friends, on Christmas night, that Christianity is just right behind Judaism as a religion they want to take out? And not only that, it isn't just behind it, they are taking out Christians. That is exactly what's going on in Africa. All those wars in Africa are Muslim against Christians, either Protestant or Catholic Christians. And in some cases, they've done a pretty good job of wiping out entire communities of Christians. People believe maybe there's something unique in those Arab countries when you take the extreme form of Islam about hating Jews. And I'm going to say there probably is. The anti-Semitism is in a way of a different quality, but the anti-Christianity is just as great. And we've had genocide of Christians. I mean, that's what the Turkish genocide of the Armenians was all about. It was against Christians. And right now there's an attempt at genocide going on in Armenia by Azerbaijan, which is right next to them, and it's all based on Muslim Christian. So I don't by any means mean to minimize at all the anti-Semitism, because that is the real focus and the main objective of theirs right now. And it is intolerable, and it is even more intolerable that these people are protesting in favor of killing Jews. And the idea of, they're anti-Zionist, not anti-Jewish. That's a garbage distinction. In fact, in some ways, it's even more horrendously evil to be anti-Zionist, because anti-Zionist means to wipe out the entire state of Israel. That's genocide. Now, is the hatred of Jews just on an individual basis or as a group? Well, we know it's as a group, but when they just say we hate Jews, it's one thing. When they say wipe out Israel, that's genocide. That's to remove a nation of 7 or 8 million people. Remove it from the earth. Remove those people from the earth. Remove them from their homeland. Remove them from the place that was given to them, because they have been they've been the subject of prejudice since time immemorial, and then most particularly during the Holocaust. And again, they're not colonists. If they're colonists, the Syrians are colonists, and the Jordanians are colonists. And the Jordanians were given their land and their name by the same documents, or the same set of documents, as they evolved in dividing up that land after the First and Second World War. Jews didn't come in there with an army and take it over. They were there. When they were declared a country by the UN, they were already there. The Arabs went to war against them. They didn't go to war against Syria. They didn't go to war against Jordan, also created. They went to war against the Jews. They went to war against Israel.
Man, I have an interesting take on this, right? So most of these people that are anti-Israel, they're probably, I would say 99% liberals, probably, right? They vote Democrat, we would say.
I'm guessing so.
Right? So Democrats are big on white supremacy, F Nazis, we hate Nazis, blah, blah, blah. So wouldn't these people anti-Israel kind of make them just like the Nazis?
Yeah, they are. They're just like the
So
Nazis.
I'm very
In fact,
confused.
the Arab world did ally with the Nazis. I don't know if they know that. I mean, the chief mufti of Jerusalem visited Hitler on numerous occasions and blessed him, or whatever the heck they do. Gave him the, some kind of, or whatever. But he was very in favor of the Nazis, and very common in these schools, particularly in Palestine. The young Islamic children are taught that the only thing wrong with Hitler was he didn't get the job done. That is what I just told you is a very common phrase. Hitler didn't get the job done. He should have. And this is one of those examples of, when good men do nothing, evil thrives. You might change it a bit to when good people do nothing, it just moves on to the next group. Well, they're not finished, obviously, with their with their extreme movement toward genocide and extinction of Israel and the Jewish people. But they've already moved on to trying to extinguish Christians. And that can be a tougher job because there are more Christians than there are Muslims. But these people tend to be to fight in a different way, and they tend to have many, many more terrorist groups that are at their beck and call. And when they break up a Christmas Carol celebration in the land of the free and the home of the brave, a Christian, Judeo-Christian nation, this is very dangerous. And this is a very, very horrible thing we're watching. And we've got a president who I guess is asleep already. And I don't know where he is now. He went somewhere. He always travels somewhere. Is he on some kind of freebie again somewhere?
I believe he went
Where? To North Pole?
he went to some island, I think.
Yeah, good.
I
one.
think that's where he went.
An-
'Cause he went
an
to
island?
LAX first, and then he went somewhere.
He's
from
on an
there.
island?
I think he's on an island. Man.
Maybe like Napoleon, we could keep him there.
Maybe he's hanging out with Obama in Hawaii.
You know, Trump the other day said he actually, this is the first time he said it, he actually thought that Harris might be a little better. And strangely, he did, because Harris is now doing better than Biden. So you'd think he'd rather run against Biden than Harris, but I think he has the same observation that I have. Harris is whatever she is, but she's not going through some form of dementia or major dementia, whereas the president is. The president was revealed today or yesterday that the president pressured Bibi at the beginning of the war not to attack Hezbollah. He wanted to do a preemptive attack and move them into the neutral zone, because Hezbollah has remained in the, I don't know if the right word is non-militarized zone, but that's what it is. There's a zone that was agreed on at the end of the last war, that of a buffer zone between Israel and Lebanon. Might exist in Syria too, but certainly in Lebanon. And for the longest time now, Hezbollah has gone into that zone, flooded that zone with troops. So when he was attacked, when Bibi was attacked at Hamas, there was some attack up north. It was just less and almost symbolic in nature. And Bibi wanted to hit them back right away and cut that off before they got a chance to get it organized, and move them out of the buffer zone so that Israel got more protection. Well, you know who talked them out of it, don't you? They say here that it was a 45-minute conversation with Biden, but it couldn't have been all with Biden, because Biden couldn't speak for 45 minutes and stay on the same subject. The level of his illness right now makes it impossible, really, for him to keep a thought for more than about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm not talking to you just that's not a joke. That comes out of the DSM-5, and it also comes out of discussions with doctors about the level of his now dementia. There's no doubt in the world that he has dementia. It is completely mind-boggling that the American people have quietly stood by and watched themselves be led by a buffoon. Now, I don't mean to insult anybody else who's demented. And if he were demented and not the worst criminal to be president of the United States and one evil son of a, I probably would feel more sympathy. And I even do feel some sympathy for him because I know him. But all that sympathy goes away when he remains president and does the things that he does that are getting thousands and thousands and thousands of people killed, or the way he abandons Americans.
Oh, Mayor, I just want to clarify so we're not spreading fake news. Biden is actually at Camp David for Christmas. Then he's going to France or somewhere for New Year's Eve.
Going to France.
Allegedly, yeah, or some island, some French island. That's what I read. So he is at Camp David.
He's going to a French island. He's getting out of the United States.
Yes. That's what
maybe. Well, we couldn't be so lucky that he would just resign. So in their ongoing effort in Gaza, the Israeli soldiers found, and you can see pictures of it in, I guess, just the New York Post. Nobody else will show it, right? You see pictures of all the armaments they found in a children's hospital, and also a tunnel. And the tunnel itself was a very, very extensive one with a headquarters for Hamas, for the military, and an area for hostages. Now, we have taken 5 hostages. We found 5 dead hostages there before. We just found 3 more dead hostages there. So this is to make the point again. We're talking to Andrew. You can't talk to these people, but the idea that the reason the children were killed on the Palestinian side is because of the Palestinians, not because of the Jews. They were killed because they didn't listen to the warnings about leaving, which the Israeli Defense Force went to degrees I've never seen before to warn them. And they deliberately kept those children there. Who puts arms in a children's hospital except a group of terrorists that don't mind having children killed? And Joe's advice to Bibi that he shouldn't strike Hezbollah before the hostilities got really started, terrible mistake, because again, it leaves Israel behind the 8 ball. It leaves Israel having to play catch up. And people have now forgotten how long he delayed the attack on Hamas, which also cost a tremendous number of Israeli lives and is probably causing Israeli soldiers' lives, because had they been able to do a quick attack with 100,000 or 200,000 troops, Hamas would be gone by now, and Gaza would be completely taken. Although it pretty much now in sections is taken.
Mayor, we actually have exclusive video from the IDF in those underground tunnels.
Yeah,
Would
let's
like
take
to
a
show
look at
them?
that. You'll see what these tunnels are like.
I'll narrate it for your viewers.
Yeah, I mean, these tunnels.
פה, זה מקלחת ושירותים, קיום, אחות שירותים, דלת.
You thought about this, Mayor, you're back.
It was a place to live in
Yep.
case the Israelis came in, stay below them, and wait till they go. And
That's right.
the Israelis have done a great job of cleaning out those tunnels. I mean, they've gotten tunnel busters, and they've been doing surveillance, and
Good.
they've got a real, they almost have like a subway map for it. And I mean, I think every day Bibi continues is another day that Israel buys more safety. What I do not think, and I don't mean to be a spoiler on this, but I don't believe he's going to reach his objective of destroying Hamas, because Biden isn't going to let him get there. Now, you say, well, why did he listen to Biden and not attack Hezbollah right away and sort of take him out for a couple of weeks? Or why didn't he move into Gaza all at once and end this thing right away? Well, because Biden, stinking Blinken, and all of the pro-Iranian, pro-Obama people around him advised him against it, really because they don't want a complete defeat. They want Hamas to remain as a. I mean, there's no way that Biden's friend, the one that he gives billions to, Iran, wants Hamas eliminated. Taking some losses for being a little bit overzealous, okay. But so right now, Israel's doing a great job of limiting them, but the leaders are protected. And I don't know when Biden is going to try to really pull the plug. He's driving Bibi crazy already. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. So it would make it easier for her to get on. So all I did was put a hole in the top and I mean, I should have used a regular hook. We got plenty of them here for hanging ornaments, but I like to try something different. So I just took a nice red paper clip. Yeah.
That's Balance of Nature. And we're back, Mayor. Balanceofnature.com.
I think,
promo code
here we go. I think I have it even better now.
35% off. They make gifts for anytime.
Couple left in here.
That's right.
Time for Rudy to get his. I have the others in my bedroom. Last two in this one.
You're getting fruits at least.
That's fruits, Mayor.
I'll get my others later.
We do not advise you at home to take a Balance of Nature with Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi, but the mayor, he likes
The mayor-
he
the mayor-
does what he wants. So
and
yes,
the mayor is addicted, like President Trump, I guess, to one thing.
it's good to be addicted to Balance of Nature, Mayor.
Rob is being a mother.
There you go. So that's Balance of
Dr.
Nature.
Dr. Maria is with her family in New Hampshire. So look, we have a little tree caught in there. We have a little tree there.
It didn't want to come off.
Balance of Nature promo code Rudy.
Great,
35% off.
great Christmas colors too, right?
That's right, man.
We've been planning this for months. The ornament.
We've been planning the ornaments for months, and it worked out. It worked out. It worked out. So I want to tell people, I want to apologize because I wasn't able to get my my special on the turning point in the war in Gaza and in Ukraine done for the subscription channel. It'll be done for tomorrow, and also a little explanation of Bach's the Christmas oratorio. Now, don't feel that it's out of date. The oratorio goes through the 7th. The oratorio was written for a number of different feast days. It was written for Christmas, so that would have been the first one performed today by Bach. For the day after Christmas, for the Sunday of Christmas, certainly for the Epiphany, and there's one other in between. So they're like 5 separate. What the Christmas oratorio is, it's 5 Bach chorales put together. That's the put together into one story. And what it basically does is it takes the gospel, Mark's, Matthew's, mixes them together, takes the gospels, takes some of the Old Testament prophecies, has a narrator who reads the Christmas gospel or sings it. And then around that, Bach has written chorales, hymns, arias, duets, and little sinfoniettas, all about Christmas. And it's quite beautiful. And it was done because he was the choral master in the city of Leipzig, and he wrote the music and oversaw the writing before all the churches. And the chorale is done both for the service, the morning service, which would be equivalent to a Catholic mass, let's say the Lutheran version of a Catholic mass, and then the evening vespers, which were very, very popular in Germany. They would usually happen around 4 or 5 o'clock at night, take about an hour. Now vespers do come also from the hours, from the hours that go way, way back into Catholicism and into the practices of the monks. One of the monks takes 7 different hours during the day, points during the day, and they chant and pray. And Vespers is the nighttime service, the evening service. And on Sundays, many religious churches have Vespers, both Catholic and Protestant. Although actually they're most popular in the Lutheran Church. So I'm trying to avoid some of the bad news because it is Christmas Day, but I've got to tell you because you just won't read it anywhere else. Iran is now here's the information. Iran is either very close to or now has the capacity to deliver a nuclear weapon. The consensus view is it could be ready as soon as New Year's Day. Here's a little quote from the New York Post article by Mark Toth and Jonathan Sweet. We want to make sure that we give proper attribution, unlike the dishonest president of Harvard. Khamenei has Biden pegged. Tehran is confident that this White House will not take any meaningful kinetic action that would force Iran to change its calculus, let alone trajectory in pursuit of becoming a nuclear power. You think the Ayatollah is right? You think Biden would try to stop him? Would try to stop the Ayatollah from being a nuclear power? Wouldn't stop anybody from anything. In fact, he and Biden did a pretty good job of helping him become a nuclear power by all the money they gave him. Russia and Ukraine have now gone tit for tat in airstrikes. They've both knocked down each other's planes. The day before, Ukraine's actually knocked 3 Russian fighter bombers out of the air. However, as my special will make clear, it's not moving the needle. Meaning the map of Ukraine as developed by Russia after their invasion over a year ago has remained totally solid. During the summer and the early fall, Zelensky tried hard to drive corridors in between the bridge or the roadway to the sea that was created by taking over 20% of Ukraine's territory. He was unsuccessful in doing that. And then, therefore, that's why we want to question and talk about what the philosophy or the plan or how we're going forward there and how we're going forward in Gaza, where I don't know that we're near the end of the war, but we may be. I mean, I am sure that every day Biden, Blinken, and the communists in the White House are doing whatever they can to stop Bibi. Ceasefire, a total ceasefire, a partial ceasefire, 5 days off, 8 days off, whatever they can do to save Hamas. Each delay gives them a chance to get more Hamas people out of there, get them hidden, and have them ready for another attack on Israel as soon as they can. Right before Christmas, President Trump got a very, very big win in the Supreme Court. I was really very excited with the fact that the court put off the completely disreputable prosecutor, Hitman Smith. This is a guy who lost this attempt of rushing the case so he can have a March 4 trial date. So this isn't about really prosecuting Trump and getting a fair conviction. This is about getting a conviction before the election, even if it gets reversed, like I think all of Smith's convictions get reversed. But here's the interesting thing I noted about it. The Supreme Court was unanimous in throwing him out and saying, no, we're not going to rush it. Let it go to the appellate court first, which, raises the risk that you can't get the trial in before the election, which would probably be a good thing rather than have a presidential candidate of a major party and former president sitting on trial for garbage. It would be better to let him, run for president, let the American people decide whether it's garbage or it isn't, because the Biden prosecutors can't be trusted to do it. please remember, you can discount all of these, every single one of the cases against them. What do they all have in common? They're all brought by a Democratic district attorney who does a very bad job of prosecuting regular crime. They're brought by Democratic district attorneys who allow violent crime and crime in general to go wild in their cities. That would be Fannie in Atlanta and Bragg in New York. The other case is brought by Mr. Smith, who's a Biden hitman who just lost his case in the Supreme Court 9-0. But I mean, the tragic case that he lost in the Supreme Court 9-0 involved his completely harassment-led prosecution of the governor of Virginia, who wanted to run for the Senate, which took him out of the Senate race, got convicted, and then a year and a half later, the Supreme Court reversed the case 9-0, making clear that it wasn't even a crime that Smith prosecuted him for, and making it also very clear that Smith is a dishonest, dishonorable, disgusting prosecutor. So I raised the issue again. If you were the Attorney General and you were seeking a fair resolution of the charges against Donald Trump, the last guy in the world you would select is Smith. In fact, if you were seeking a fair resolution, that would be inconsistent with Smith's entire career. So what you're seeking is a hitman, a guy that's definitely going to prosecute him. Be nice if he could convict him, but even if it doesn't convict him, if he can prevent him from being president, that's the real goal. That's why you do 4. I've never heard of 4 prosecutions, separate prosecutions in 1 year of a single person. I just don't think it'd be allowed. I mean, they would say that would be too many to get ready for. And by the way, the government doesn't have a right to a speedy trial. The speedy trial right belongs with the defendant. And if a defendant says, I want more time, it's almost always given, except if it's Donald Trump, because Donald Trump has no rights. He's not part of the golden circle. He's not part of, there is a 2-tiered system of justice. He's on the tier where there's no justice. That's the one I'm on.
Yeah.
That's the tier that I'm on. I'm on the tier in which justice is irrelevant because I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative Republican, and worst of all, I'm a friend and defender and a very effective one of Donald Trump. And then I've got the special category in the Biden household of having been the one who brought out his criminality, first one to bring out his criminality, and the only one to have brought out the hard drive and gotten it to the Post, along with, of course, Bob Costello, my lawyer. So we will now take another break, and we'll be right back.
Device is something that you can plug into your television, and now you can use your television as a social television type experience. So in the Portal universe, you can watch your favorite content creators' videos, live streams, music. We also have TV subscriptions as well.
TV subscriptions.
You can also
regular channels, all the sports.
Right, you can actually cut your cable from your cable subscription and get QUX TV on our QX TV boxes, and you can pay half the price that you're currently paying for your cable television subscription, and you can get all the best premium TV channels and more. I mean, it's really, there's so much on there, Rudy. I mean, you've seen it.
No, I've seen it and I use it, and it's good. I mean, it's just exactly the same except for half the price. Plus, nobody is finding out what I'm watching, and that's not being reported to anybody.
Right, so you have absolute privacy using this device, which you don't have on other devices out there currently on the market.
This is absolutely great. QUX.TV is how you can find out about it. QUX.TV.
Use promo code RUDY to receive $30 off.
Rob has reminded me, as I welcome you back for America's Mayor Live, that everybody during the Christmas season should get a subscription to Twitter. Go to @RudyGiuliani. Hit subscribe. It'll cost you a big $10. That'll be for a month. And on there, we're going to do special programming. We have on there right now a description of the Colorado case. We have on there a meaning of Christmas essay talk in which I try to describe the meaning of Christmas now, today, in 2023. We have a reading of the Christmas Gospel by Mark in illo tempore. No, it's not done in Latin. At that time, the famous gospel that was read last night about Mary and Joseph going to Bethlehem in order to sign up and be enrolled. And isn't it interesting? Being Jewish, they wouldn't have been allowed into Bethlehem now, right? Or they'd be in risk of being slaughtered by the Hamas people. There were no religious services in Bethlehem last night. And as Christians, that should outrage you. I mean, Israel is the Holy Land for all of us. And I have to tell you, and this is part of what has made me such a strong, strong advocate of Israel, because I learned this as a youngster. I went to the Church of the Nativity and was able to get communion. And it was a beautiful church, a beautiful community. It was governed by the state of Israel. Since it's been governed by the Palestinian authorities, it's become a whole. Become a whole. I can't say what kind of hole, but a whole. Place where Jesus was born. And we agreed to it. We agreed to give them, when Clinton agreed that they were going to get the Bethlehem, I said, what are you, crazy? Are you crazy? You know, they hate, don't you read history? Don't you read the Quran? They hate Christians as much as they hate Jews. Well, maybe not as much, almost as much. We got so many things going on. The border. It was about last year at this time that Biden and his border liar in chief, he's got different liars in chief. He's got Stinkin' Blinken for foreign policy, and he's got Mayorkas for the border. They're going to start a new program, and they're going to cut down illegal immigration. They were going to say that because a lot of it happens through the asylum fiction. Why I say asylum fiction is the people are told to announce when they come over that they want asylum in the United States because they're being persecuted in their homeland. That happens to be true roughly in about 5% of the cases. So 95% are lying about that. And by the way, none of them legally are entitled to it because all of them have come through Mexico. And the law says that you have to declare asylum in the first country you come to that's a democracy. Mexico is a democracy. They probably were through a few others too. So just on that basis alone, we could pick them up and send them right back to Mexico. But we have a president that doesn't have the guts to do that. We have a president who actually, I shouldn't say that. We have a president who wants them to come into this country illegally, who encouraged them to come in when he was running for president, saying, surge into the United States. We have a president that could be removed from the ballot for permitting and encouraging that kind of insurrection, that kind of invasion based on Colorado. And I think until they remove it in Colorado, we should begin our proceedings in Colorado to have him removed from the ballot. And by the way, they could also conclude that he's a massive bribe taker and just take my report. After all, they based their case against Trump based on a report of J6. I'm a hell of a lot more credible than J6. I mean, they've got all those proven liars. They've got all those proven liars there, right? And the ones who have been consorting with Chinese spies. That's what they were made up of. Swalwell and what was Swalwell's Fang Fang? Fang Bang. Bang Bang Fang Bang. Whatever, yeah. And what about Dianne Feinstein, 19 years with a Chinese operative as a driver, a United States senator, 19 years, and nobody makes anything of it because she's a Democrat who the last year she was in office didn't even know who she was in office. Yeah. The last year she was in office. Oh yeah, there was a little machine that connected to her arm that went like this. Whoop. And then if she had to say yay or nay, it would you put yay, nay, yay, nay, yay, nay. Pretty soon Biden will be like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty soon, getting there.
Yeah.
He's getting there. Go this way, go that way.
They say we need term limits. Boy, oh boy.
You think? I don't think it's a good idea to take him to all these places. I think he gets disoriented. Hard enough, he had a hard time with the White House, finding his way around the White House. If you can dig out some of those really Secret Service stories, I got one possible source, I got one source that gets me some stuff. And there was a period he was getting, when they would let him out, he was getting lost in the gardens. And one time they really were scared. They couldn't find him, so they left the grounds. That sometimes happens with a demented person, elderly person. People may have experienced with their grandparents or something.
Yeah.
They'll just leave and you got to go find them. It's a terrible thing. I mean, it's a terrible thing. And, if the man were a human being, you would have, he is a human being, but an extraordinarily evil one.
That led to evil.
Oh, he's got
drugs on top of it.
we're talking about him? About
Yeah.
yeah, you can see with the eyes. Yeah, sometimes the eyes are like this.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're like that.
He metamorphosizes depending on when you happen to see him.
I think when the eyes get small, he can't even read. And then he can't read numbers. He can't read numbers,
He doesn't seem to understand them.
1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. So do you guys, both one's in New York and the other's from New Jersey? I take it our Giants lost, right?
Well, the Giants lost, yes, Mayor.
To Philadelphia.
Yeah, but everyone hates Philadelphia. See, Mayor, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I hate Philadelphia, so I was actually rooting for the Giants to win.
Oh, you're like Christie. You're a Cowboy fan like Christie.
Well, don't, Mayor, come on.
I knew I would get you. I knew I would get you.
Don't compare me to that.
I'm a Cowboy
Yeah.
fan. The guy is the governor. The guy is the governor in New Jersey. He's got 3 possible football teams that his. If you take New Jersey, they're divided. I don't know if they're divided a third, but pretty much. You got in the northern part of New Jersey, which is the heavier population center. You have the Giants and the Jets. They both play at MetLife Stadium. I would say the Giants are probably the more popular of the 2 teams, but the Jets have a very good fan base. And then down in the southern part, you still have some Giant fans down there, but you largely have Philadelphia Eagle fans, like near Camden and the places where you can come over and illegally vote in Pennsylvania. So this guy has got 3 teams, and he roots for the Cowboys. 2 of the teams, the Cowboys are like the hated rival, the Giants and the
Eagles.
And the Eagles. Yeah. The Jets really don't have, the Jets don't have any rivals.
The only rival the Jets had
of themselves
was besides themselves was the Patriots, but Tom Brady's gone, so that's really not that's really the only rival the Jets have, or the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Jets haven't really had a rival since Oakland.
Yeah.
Joe Namath.
Well, Mayor, there is many Cowboy fans in the tri-state area. A lot. It's because
I thought I got rid of them when I was mayor.
It's because when Roger Staubach, bless you, when Roger Staubach, you know Roger Staubach, when he was the quarterback of the Cowboys,
great man and a great player.
Correct. My dad was a big Cowboys fan. He's 62 years old, so I was raised.
No, it was the America's team thing.
Like America's mayor.
Yeah, America's team.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Look, I don't really even the Eagles. I just they're fans that drive me nuts, not the team. I mean, the fans.
They're disgusting.
The fans are so nasty. Yeah. I mean, it's the only stadium. Andrew and I related tonight. We were there around Christmas time, 2001, believe it or not, and they were so nasty. And it was after September 11, where it's getting ported everywhere. There, I got a reasonably good reception when I came in, but then when the Giants lost at the end, they started booing us and calling us names. And Andrew said they're sore winners. They can't even be decent winners. So this one should, you guys should are going to be affected by this commuter tax, right? So there's the union for the EMTs and the paramedics
Right.
are going to sue because something like, oh my goodness, about 400 ambulance workers alone are assigned below 60th Street, and they drive to work. This is a group that drive to work, and they're going to have to pay $15 plus, and they only make
Well,
they don't make that much. They make like the EMTs make between 39 and 60 grand,
Right.
and the medics make between 50 and 75, 80.
well, Mayor, I could attest to that. I was FDYMS for 5 years,
Yeah.
and I got on when the starting pay was 31,000,
Right.
and the top pay was only 45.
That's a tough job,
I was busy. I worked here in Manhattan in Chelsea,
and you got to be good,
you got to be strong,
or people die.
or people die. You got to be good at your job, and the congestion pricing doesn't only affect EMTs; it affects NYPD. It affects people that work at Rikers Island, like myself.
Yeah, but this union, thank God, is
local
is-
2507. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the basis of the case as a legal case, but I do know as a political matter or governmental matter. This is a crazy thing. I had some push to do this when I was mayor, but they learned that you don't push me. They pushed once, that was the end of it.
They're asking for an exemption for first responders, which I think is pretty fair because we. go to
Well, there
work.
should
Yeah,
be,
yeah.
but there shouldn't be a tax.
Right.
It shouldn't be
No,
there.
there should be zero tax, but they're going.
But I agree. I agree. If you're going to have it,
Right.
there definitely should be. Definitely
exemption.
should be an exemption for first responders. I know there probably should be for teachers too. I would imagine.
Any
right?
city employee. I mean, it's very simple. You get a special easy pass if you're a city employee. You have to prove you're a city employee with your pay stub, your ID, whatever. They give you a special easy pass, and you don't pay congestion.
Can I
fees.
give a better solution?
Go ahead, Mayor.
Don't do it.
There you go. Yeah,
You're going to bury the city.
Right.
Hokle pokle. You are really, really.
Well, now your boy Andrew Cuomo's. I heard he wants to run for mayor, so now he was for congestion pricing, and now he's very against it.
How is he on things that he started, like letting the people out on bail so they could rape you, murder you, and kill you?
He's against bail reform now too,
But,
apparently.
but he gave us bail reform.
Well, he's against it now.
And how about lower the age so that you can murder people? And
Well, we're in soccer time right now, Mayor.
we are.
Yes.
Well, you see, I see 0 hours and 12. I was reading that wrong. I thought I had 14 minutes left. Imagine,
I reset it.
imagine if I were a quarterback.
Yeah. I reset.
Imagine if I
the
were Tommy
timer for you.
DeVito.
Yeah,
They would not be making gravy after me.
That's right.
If I were there, I'd be out there all by myself, and my line is gone. I said, "Gee, I didn't play that bad. They all left." New York City charter schools are kicking ass. Am I allowed to say that on Christmas?
Yes.
Okay, they're kicking ass. They are. They just got the results in for the new watered down tests. The new watered down tests. The city students, did worse than they did before, but not as worse, right? They took about a 5 or 6% hit on reading and about an 8% hit on. They usually take 10, 12% hit. There's an easier test. They admit it. But now, as compared to the charter school children, so here's the overall testing of the charter school children. The overall exam for everybody, charter schools and regular schools, 59% charter schools passed, only 50% public schools. There's a 13-point difference on math, and there's about an 8-point difference on English. Now, if you look just at Black children, now the charter schools are 90% minority. So, and they are exactly the same kids as go to the public schools. The 99% minority and 80% poor, and 20% special needs.
But this focuses on just black.
Well, I'm going to give you the Black statistics as to how much better they do in the charter schools.
That's a very important one.
How about the pass percentage is 19 points. It's 59% charter schools pass, only 40% city schools. And then on math alone, it's a 27% edge for charter schools. Blacks do 27% of the blacks do better in charter schools. And 25% on math for Hispanics and 16% on English. So, rightly so, black parents, Hispanic parents, and parents in general want charter schools.
So how long is it going to be before the Democrats try to destroy the church?
Well, they are. They put a limit on it, and the New York State legislature refuses to lift the limit. There are 234 charter schools. They serve only 142,500 students. There's a backup of at least twice that number that want to be part of it. Here's the perplexing thing for me, just a poor little Republican. What do you vote for these people for?
You see?
Aren't your kids more important than that stupid Democratic
You
Party?
Democrats still want to vote Democrat? How about your children?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Are they really more important than your kids? First of all, don't you know it's the party of slavery?
Haven't they proven themselves to be scoundrels?
I mean, well, you go ahead and you want statutes removed of people that had something to do with slavery. There's no institution that had more to do with slavery than that party you vote for and whose name you still bear. Why do the Washington Redskins and the Cleveland Indians have to change their names? Not the Democratic Party. They didn't do anything nearly as bad as the Democrat Party in supporting slavery for what, 100 years? I mean, and then go to war over it. They were on the Republican Party, believe it or not. I mean, was born out of the anti-slavery movement. Abraham Lincoln being the first victorious presidential candidate. So in New York, we now give the illegal immigrants a card. They get cards. I've forgotten what they call the card. I think it's the municipal card. I don't know exactly what this card is going to do, but this is all part of the conspiracy. Which, and please, I'm not being conspiratorial. I'm just being honest. The New York City Council voted almost a year ago to give non-citizens the right to vote. That is as absurd as the Colorado decision taking Trump off the ballot for an insurrection that not only never happened, has never been proved. The New York Constitution sets the rules for voting in New York. And it says you have to be a citizen. The New York City Council cannot change those rules and say, well, you don't have to be a citizen. And second, why would they want to? Why would you want people who aren't citizens of the country to vote? I mean, you're taking a risk. They don't know a damn thing about this country. You're taking a risk with all the Chinese that are coming in now that they're spies. You're taking a risk that they're terrorists with the borders being wide open. Why are you doing this? Because this whole thing is part of trying to destroy us. It's not just the Democrats wanting to take over as the Communist Party, the dictatorial party they do. It's also wanting to destroy our way of life. And they are having some degree of success and have already destroyed a good deal of our way of life. Now, generally, Christmas time, you give clemency. And I'm not a big opponent of clemency, and I'm not a big opponent of pardons. And I think they all have their place. And I think if someone served a prison sentence and has turned out to now be leading a good life after a certain period of time, they should be given a pardon. I think every once in a while, clemency should be exercised if somebody's in prison for some ridiculously lengthy period of time. But here's a time when clemency shouldn't be exercised, and this has to be a purely political decision, and it's one of the reasons why so many people are dying in New York, because of Democrats, because of their legislation. Their legislation is the singular cause, and their management of the system is the singular cause of all the murders we have in New York, in Chicago. Just count up the cities. So Hochul Pochul, who people allege has a brain, has now given clemency to someone named Travel G. Depp Coleman, a former rapper who is going to end up doing 2 years to life for the crime of murder. That will be the sentence. 2 years. He'll be back with us in 2025 in order to. He's very sorry for the murder that he committed. I think he'll be sorry for the next one too. You know how many of these things we have because of Democrats putting people out? People who murder and they get out and they murder again.
I think they gave him clemency there because he actually turned himself in. They're giving him leniency. He admitted to the crime and they didn't have to
Well, I mean,
It was a cold case. That's why.
2 years
No, I know. I'm just saying.
for murdering a human being. 2 years.
Yeah,
I don't care if he turned himself in or he didn't.
Right, that should be just like.
And by the way, what are the chances of catching him? Probably about 95%, 98%.
It was a cold case.
Well, how cold was it?
It was from 1993, and he
We solved those.
He confessed in 2010.
Well, we solved those.
Yeah.
This guy should have been put away for 20 years. And Harvard University is a disaster. Harvard University has basically changed all the rules with regard to plagiarism in order to keep this cheating president. They also obviously hired her based on affirmative action. She's nowhere near qualified to be president of Sheboygan University, much less anything else. And her answers are absolutely ridiculous when she's asked about genocide of the Jewish people. She says it depends on the context. The University of Pennsylvania has done their duty and gotten rid of the person that did this, but they won't. And I think there are two reasons for it. I think one, because she's black, and they are deathly afraid of being described as what they are, racist. They are racist. Their whole affirmative action program was racist. They're certainly anti the Chinese race and Japanese race and Asian race. In fact, they've been found to be uniformly and systemically prejudicial by the Supreme Court. They also are found by neutral observers to be the most anti-Jewish, have the most amount of Jewish hatred of any university in America. That's quite a distinction. Harvard, which used to be considered the greatest university in America by some, should now be considered one of the worst. And by the way, when you look at their people around protesting, et cetera, they're very poorly educated. They don't know what they're talking about. They make fools out of themselves. Israel occupies Gaza. Yeah. Ended in 2005. That's when they stopped teaching history at Harvard. And now what they teach is let's tell any lie we can to undermine the United States, which is a colonial power, whatever that means.
Do they know they're lying? The people that are screaming in the streets at the top of their lungs?
No, many of them I think are too stupid to know.
So stupid.
Yeah, they don't. When you scream that much in the street, you don't have time to read.
That's true, right?
Yeah, you don't have time to read or think, and it clouds your brain. And how are things down at Washington Square Park now? Before we send people back to celebrate, any more violence?
Plenty.
I mean, it's just ongoing violence.
Yeah, the cops they need more units because there's multiple fights.
When you say they need more units, are they bringing them in?
Yes.
Quickly, or have they been able to find Adams at his whatever club he's at?
Cares about him. But no, I don't
How about the police commissioner? Does he go clubbing with him, or?
Do they know yet?
Maybe. I didn't actually. Eric Adams, I don't even see him make a comment yet, to be honest with you, Mayor. So.
Oh well,
But I know NYPD is getting under control now.
What's the new police commissioner like? I saw him last night, but I don't have a real feel for him. Nothing, right?
I have nothing on him. I don't know anything.
Not good or bad, right?
Nothing yet.
But I mean, it is a little ridiculous that they're outnumbered here, and they weren't ready for this.
Well, when
They did it last night.
a third of the NYPD is leaving to go to other states, what do you expect? When you can't be no, they quit. They
Probably,
resign.
I mean, it's probably unfair to evaluate the police commissioner with a mayor like this. You can't be a police commissioner. Look what happened to the last one, right? I mean, I think she tried.
She tried to go against Adams and he got rid of her. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
She tried to actually be a police.
But he has these people in between that are pro-criminal people that are sort of managing the department for him. I don't think he manages. I think he spends his time getting, expensive suits and.
These protest groups probably got more management and more funding coming in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sure they get money from Soros and people like that.
Soros
And then-
admitted already he gives them money.
Yeah.
That's not a secret.
Oh no, he does.
No, yeah,
He funds pro-Hamas groups.
Yeah.
He's got 4 or 5 of them that he funds. So, well, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas with your family. I hope you're going to go back to it. I want to get you ready for 2024. And to do that, I want to get you on the subscription. Once you get you on the subscription channel on X, formerly known, that was our alarm, X, formerly known as Twitter. Go on subscription, you hit it, it'll cost you $10, and then you will have there, as I told you, right now, you've got a description of Colorado, the case in Colorado. You've got the meaning of Christmas. You've got the reading of the gospel, and tomorrow you'll have a comparison of the 2 wars, but also most importantly, the turning point in the wars, and which way are they going to go. So with that, tomorrow, the second day after Christmas, we'll be on WABCRadio.com at 3 o'clock. We'll be here at 8. And in between, you'd get that subscription and then tell me what you think of it tomorrow night. God bless you. Merry Christmas again. Pray for the people of Israel. Pray for the people of the United States. God bless America.